Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the Nitecore NU17. I have it here plugged in and charging via the micro USB port. You can see the red LED. That'll turn green when this is done charging. The light itself is pretty lightweight. It's about 1.65 ounces. It's got a 1 meter drop rate rating, impact resistance, and it has IPX66 rating for weatherproofing, water resistancy. Let's go ahead and unplug this and go through the modes. The housing is plastic and there's a cover on top to stop from accidental pushing of the buttons. I like that physical lockout mode or soft lockout mode there. There's two buttons here. There's a main mode button and then there's a red LED button. To access the main Cree Gh2 S3 LED in the center here, you push once and it goes into low mode. That's going to be 1 lumens or 150 hours. If you don't push the button again to cycle through the modes, it'll just turn off after about 3 seconds. So to get to the second mode, you have to push 2 clicks here. That's going to get you medium mode for 28 lumens. That's going to be 10 hours. There's a 550 milliamp hour battery in here, by the way, built in. To access the turbo mode, you have 130 lumens. You have to click 3 times, and that's going to run for 6 hours on this LED here. To access the 2 auxiliary white LEDs, or a slightly bit different color temperature rating LEDs in here. I think they're about 4,500 Kelvin rating. You're going to hold down the on button on the right and it'll access the what they call the high CRA white LEDs, and that's going to run you for about 4 hours or so at 50 lumens. Turn that off, we click once. To get into the SOS and strobe modes, you simply hold down the button here. It's going to cycle through. We're going to be in SOS first, and if you push again, you'll get into beacon mode. Push again, you turn it off. To access the battery meter, you hold down the red button here, or the left button, and hold it down, and it's going to blink a couple times. 3 blinks means it's higher than 50, 2 blinks means it's less than 50, and 1 blink means it's about to die. So push the red button once, you'll get the auxiliary red LEDs in here. This is 1 lumen for about 80 hours. And if you don't push it within 3 seconds, you have to recycle through pushing. So we'll turn it off and then we'll push twice here to get to the high LED. And that's going to be 23 lumens for about 3 hours on the red LEDs. If we do this cycle again, the third time is going to have a blinking warning flash for about 6 hours. There's no run times based on the SOS and the beacon mode with the white, or rather the primary LED. They don't list that. Overall, the construction is nice and lightweight at 1.65 ounces. This is a very lightweight, durable headlamp. I put it in my EDC bags, my small ones. I can fit it right in there. This takes up that slot of having a headlamp that I can use for duration. And I like the strap that it's kind of lightweight. It has this texturized rubber inside part of the strap here, which is kind of nice. You can kind of see that here. And the backing, this doesn't hurt my head too much, this hard plastic part. You could probably maybe run the strap reversed so that the material's facing on the inside. I don't mind it like this. It came like this from the factory. It does have like a sort of like clicking, not exactly clicking, but like a step tilt to the plastic frame here, so you can kind of angle your light to however you want it on your head. Overall, for $24, it's a decent light. We're going to get some beam shots here in a moment. Okay, we're back. We're going to do some beam shots on the table so you can see what the color looks like. For reference, we're shooting at 5.6 aperture at 24 fips, 3000 Kelvin temperature rating with a ISO of 1250. Here's low mode on the main Cree Gh2 S3 emitter. That's 1 lumen. Let's recycle through here. That is medium mode, 28 lumens. And that is high mode, 130 lumens. And for reference, we're about almost a foot away from the desk here. Let's do the high CRI auxiliary. And that is about 50 lumens. Let's do the low mode for the red. That's 1 lumens. That's high mode at 23 lumens. I want to note the options that are available on this light here in terms of the LED. I find it particularly useful for being close up doing camp duties using the 2 CRI lights. I think this is a perfect mix of 50 lumens and runtime with this battery here. It's probably my most preferred using option on this because it's kind of like a flood LED as opposed to the Cree one in the center. Here, we'll switch it here so you can see. This is more of a, it's still got a good decent spill, but it's more of a focused spot. It's not exactly a thrower, but it throws a little bit further than the 2 auxiliary LEDs, and this is at 130 lumens. So to kind of compare, we'll set this to about 28 lumens. It's a little bit more closer to the 50 lumen output on the 2 auxiliary. But you can kind of see the difference here with the main LED versus the 2 side ones. So I'll switch it again. And these are the 2 side ones. So you can kind of see against the table here how it looks, the beam pattern. Let's go to the red and test out the modes too. So this is what the red LED beam pattern looks like on the flat table. That's at 1 lumen. Let's recycle this to the high mode now. And that's at 23 lumens. I find the red is really useful too for close-up tasks at night, just for seeing. I find myself using the higher output on the red LEDs, although the lower output, the 1 lumen one, is practical for like reading very close at night, very close tasks. So it's a pretty versatile headlamp with a lot of options. That's what I really like about this headlamp, and plus the price for what it offers and the weight is definitely something something to be put into a small EDC bag. One of my favorite parts about this light is the fact that you can charge it with the micro USB cable, and it does work with the system that I have here for my solar battery bank backup system. Now obviously this solar battery bank isn't going to be the most effective and fastest charging battery bank due to the size of the solar panel, but it does work after a few days in the sun. So it does give me some kind of option, and I do have a AA battery system too. And if we disconnect this here, this is the ULG Ultralast Green solar charger. You can charge this via input inside the USB via its own proprietary cable, or you can output the USB current. This only does about 150 milliamps, so it's enough to push the charge into this light here, which is nice. So it works very well with my system setup, and it's very small and practical for my needs. Plus it runs on AA batteries, so if I ever run out of batteries and I need to buy batteries for the power of the bank, I can go to any local store and buy batteries and have a USB charger ready to go to charge my headlamp. So I do like that option with this charger here. This is how I store the light in my bag. It fits nicely in my small EDC pouch, and it's always there ready to go. I definitely recommend it for anybody who's looking for a small headlamp that doesn't cost too much and it doesn't weigh too much and has built-in charging capabilities and is water resistant to IP66 ratings. Thanks for watching.